heard it, but I wouldn't recognize it. It sounds like they all sound alike to me.
Okay, I got it. Doug, come here.
Presentation of the diplomas right now. The board member, whoever stands in the rear of this thing, and they actually cross on top of it and down. So those stand to the rear.
They force them forward. I mean, force them to look square.
I've emphasized that. I'm taking care of your job.
Somebody's got to. That's the way we rehearse.
Hi. Wait, let me get this up. My name's There we go. Hi, my name is Robbie Wright. I'm the student body president of Burney High School. Would you guys please join me in the flag salute? Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now I'd like to introduce Father O'Reilly.
Please remain standing. God, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the inspiration of this evening. We ask you to send your blessings on our graduating class here present. Protect them in all their endeavors, and whatever career or choices they make, may they be open to the Holy Spirit, directing them to follow God's will for his honor and glory and for their good. And we ask you this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
You may be seated. It's okay if I take my hat off? Okay. Guests, parents, faculty, fellow graduates, it is my pleasure to speak on behalf of the graduating class of 1986. I feel this class, my class, is unique. Let me take you back to the year 1982, when these same students were being promoted into the 9th grade. Our former principal, Mr. Hitt, was impressed enough by our class that he made a speech about ours being the only class he could remember coming into high school with a big bank account. He said it would be interesting to see our advancement, or to see the advancement of this special class. Well, he was right. We did advance in our own special ways. We've all become separate pieces of one unified puzzle. Our class is more like a family than a class. As we have advanced and grown, we have somehow managed to stay together. And although our goals may differ, we all still retain the standards that we entered the 9th grade with. Like a family, when homecoming came around this year, and it was time for the classes to start planning floats for the float competition, everyone was too busy to help. But when the suggestion was made not to enter the competition, our class pulled together, and with only 1 week to complete our float, when other classes had 2, the senior class worked hard every day, and we not only entered, but we won the competition. That's not a class, that's a family. But like families, it's time for us to move on and take up the threads of our lives. Okay, all right. Excuse me. Okay. Last week, when I was feeling down about graduation, my mom told me something that stuck in my mind. She said that this is not the end of the road, but rather a bend in the road. The best is yet to come. I'm sure that throughout our lives and our future relationships, we will continue to support each other and be involved as we have been since entering Burney High School. I'm sure we will miss each other, but I think I speak for the entire class when I say that we will all look back fondly on our high school memories. Each and every one of us feels privileged to be part of this year's graduating senior family. I would like to wish all the best to my fellow students, Congratulate yourselves. Parents, you've done a fine job. Thank you. Okay. I'd like to introduce the class president, Kelly Stock.
Hi. Members of the board, Dr. Cooper, Mr. Traverso, parents, friends, and the class of 1986, I'd like to welcome all of you here tonight. It has taken us a long time to get where we are tonight, and it may seem hard to believe, but we are finally graduating. For many of us, this is a scary time, and for others, it is a very joyous time. As we look back across the years, we have made many new friends and learned a lot about each of our classmates. But many of us didn't take the time to meet new people. We have so much time, we thought. Time snuck up on us, and soon we realized our high school careers were coming to an end. Friends are forever. Our graduation theme seems very appropriate. You hear classes before us saying, "What a close class we have." This is true for our class, but it is more of an understanding of each individual's insecurities and feelings. We, as a class, depend on each other like an infant would depend on his mother. We seem to help each other up when we are down or need a helping hand or a reassuring word. Galatians 6, verses 1 through 5 define my meaning precisely. Dear brothers, if a Christian is overcome with sin, you, who are godly, should gently and humbly help him back up onto the right path, remembering that next time it might be you who are in the wrong. Share each other's problems, and so obey the Lord's command. If anyone thinks he is too great to stoop to this, he is only fooling himself. He is really a nobody. Let everyone be sure that he is doing his very best, for then he will be the one with the personal satisfaction of work well done, and won't need to compare himself with someone else. Each of us must bear some faults and burdens of his own, for none of us is perfect. I feel, and I am sure I can speak for the rest of our class, that we would probably not be here tonight if it weren't for our parents and their support. I'd like to thank my parents for all they have done for me. I love you very much, and I appreciate the person you have helped me to become. I would also like to thank our advisors, Mrs. Osborne, Mr. Osborne, Miss Pauley, and Miss Phillips. You have made an impact on our lives, and we will never forget you. For those of you who didn't know, Fall River High School graduates went to Hawaii for their senior trip. Our class would like to let them know that we are proud of their accomplishment, and we hope they had an excellent time. Our senior trip was not as extensive, but we had a great time. Whiskey Town proved to be an excitement in itself. Before I go, I'd like to leave you with this thought. The qualities of love, compassion, wisdom, humility, and goodwill are health-promoting. Anger, egotism, small-mindedness, pride, and selfishness are diseasing and disharmonizing. The choice to align with God's harmony and love or not to is yours, and so are the consequences. What you give your attention to, you become. To the class of 1986, I love you very much. Pay close attention to what the world has to offer, and you will succeed. Goodbye and good night.
Our next speaker will be class valedictorian Melanie Saletti.
Good evening and greetings to all. It is my pleasure to be here this evening to represent the class of 1986. I'm going to present some images of just what this class is composed. For me, it all started 3 years ago when I moved to Burney. I'll always remember the fear as I walked... All right. I'll always remember the fear as I walked into the freshly waxed floors of Burney High School and thought to myself, this can't be happening to me. It all seemed so foreign, and I was sure everyone was staring at me. Slowly but surely, things began to pick up, and I found my unique place within the class. From that day until now, graduation night, there were fun-filled days. Laughing in the halls with friends, sharing smiles, getting to know each other, not to mention the long hours of homework involved. Somehow, we all found a bit of time to experience what each individual had to offer. If one was to step outside the class and examine all the members, the differences would outnumber the similarities greatly. It's not as if there are inner cliques, but perhaps, possibly we could be classified as a single clique. A bunch of young people finding themselves while learning about each other. For instance, Casey writes poetry. Karen is a basketball star. Matt knows his dictionary almost as well as the Bible. Richard can act his way out of anything and everything. We all have our own qualities, and yet we share one common thing, our friendship. If you'll notice our theme behind me, Friends Are Forever seems extremely fitting. After high school, most of us will take our separate paths, yet I know there will always remain a closeness. A very touching time a few nights ago was our baccalaureate ceremony. We have all been looking forward to graduation for so long, and suddenly we looked, and it was right in front of our face. At baccalaureate, we realized something that brought out emotion in us all, knowing that we were finally parting. Everyone expects girls to cry at such occasions, but I think we realized our openness when even the young men in our class began to shed a few tears. I was touched, saddened, and even excited in the same moment. It's amazing what honest feelings involve. Now as these last moments are passing, there seems a common feeling to hold on as long as possible. But before we go, I would like to give a few words to my classmates. Hold on to the memories we share throughout life, but also go out and challenge yourself. Be that person you want to become. Give all you have to attain happiness. Go that extra bit, and you will find that, as in all things, it does pay off. In closing, I would like to read a poem by Amanda Bradley that sums up my feelings for this class. It is entitled, You Know When You're With a Friend. When you're with someone who makes you smile, someone who helps you see how beautiful simple things in life can be. When you're with someone with warmth to share and kindness to extend, someone who really knows you, then you know you're with a friend. When you're with someone who cares about the things you try to do, someone you confide your deepest thoughts and feelings to. When you're with someone you trust in, never needing to pretend, someone who helps you know yourself, you know you're with a friend. Class of 1986, thank you for the memories. I'm going to miss all of you, and good luck. Thank you. I'd now like to introduce our next speaker, Miss Amy Oskimo.
Honored guests, faculty, parents, and fellow students. Tonight marks a very special and exciting time in our lives. Each graduating senior here is about to step into a whole new world. As I looked forward to this evening, a story came to mind that I would like to share with all of you. Once there was a very talented gardener. Each spring his home would be surrounded with the most beautiful garden of flowers. A neighbor woman would often stop at his gate on her way to town to admire his work, and one day, seeing how she loved the garden, He gave her seeds and cuttings so that she could start her own. When she returned home, she put away the treasures for safekeeping until the next spring, and dreamt of the lovely garden she would grow. The following spring, the gardener decided to visit the woman and see how her planting was going. But when he arrived at her home, he was surprised to find that not an inch of ground had been cultivated. When he asked his neighbor why it had not begun, she replied, "I could never grow a garden so beautiful as yours. It is so exquisite, and you know so much more about gardening. I decided I shouldn't even try." Seeing how frustrated the woman was, and knowing how much she would love a garden, the gardener offered to help her with her planting. Each day afterward, the woman watched over the garden and cared for it. The first seedlings appeared, and she gained new hope for the garden to come. Under her care, the flowers grew and bloomed, and though her garden was different from her neighbor's, it was every bit as beautiful. Another day, the gardener from down the road stopped to see how her garden had grown, and when he saw the beauty all around him, he was proud of his neighbor for all of her work. "You have done so well with your garden and have made a success of all your work," he said. And before he went on his way, the woman gave him cuttings from some new flowers she had found among the others. As did the woman in the story, each of us has gathered seeds and cuttings from others through their contributions to our lives over the years. Our families provide us with the first seeds to start our gardens. They give us love, care, and encouragement as we grow. The teachers we have known have brought to our lives knowledge, challenges, and the interest to reach new horizons, as well as a lot of extra help along the way. So many of them have taken time to answer our questions and have done the little things that have made learning fun. And then there are our classmates. During our years together as a class, we have had the opportunity to gather many seeds of personality, ideas, and interests. These contributors have taken many forms. There are the people who always have a cheery smile and time to say hello or talk a bit. Many have entertained us on the stage and at concerts numerous times. We have classmates who have made us and our community proud through their accomplishments in athletics. Of course, there are the spirit rousers, people who get us enthusiastic when we need it. And I'm sure we'll all remember the friends who have always cared enough to be there. Now it's time for all of us to gather the seeds we have accumulated from all of these sources and to plant our own gardens. As we begin this work, nurturing the seedlings, we must be willing to try the new and to not let temporary difficulties discourage us. Putting our talents and abilities to use will make our gardens unique and beautiful as they can be, and our lives successful as well. We'll also be able to share our seeds and cuttings with others we encounter throughout life. In conclusion, I would like to thank all of the people who have contributed to my life over the years. I am excited about what the future holds. Best of luck to all my fellow classmates, and I wish each of you much happiness throughout your lives. I treasure the many seeds that you have given me along the way. Thank you.
before we get to the faculty speakers, Kelly Stock, class president, has a special presentation to make. And as she's coming down here, I'll point out to you that that's what friends are for. This class is very friendly, as you can tell. Friend to each other, friends to people in the community, other students at school, and even to animals, as you can see this evening.
I'd like to apologize for not introducing Melanie. For the past 3 years, Miss McGrew has become a noontime fixture at BHS. Miss McGrew, you see, is our lunch hall supervisor, most often called the Change Lady. When it was brought to our attention that Millie had missed out on her graduation, we decided to have her join us. Miss McGrew, please step up here and receive your honorary BHS class of 1986 diploma. Okay, the next person I'd like to introduce is a real special lady, and she's really loved by her English 4 class, and we're really going to miss her, Miss Mary Lou Schmidt.
You didn't know it would be a love me, love my dog night. Dear class of 1986, families and friends, tonight I feel akin with the parents of these seniors. Why? Because like so many of your parents who love you, I am having a hard time letting go. How ironical when this occasion calls for a celebration of your commencement into life that I am choking on the words and do not want to let you go at all. It is not easy for those of us who love you so dearly to smile bravely as you leave. How did I come to care about you so much? Let me count the ways. I haven't had the fortune to have all of you as students, but those I have had have been a joy to teach. You have given me and each other the gift of openness with your thoughts, opinions, and ideals. In class discussions of literature, you are not only unafraid to express your ideas, but I have seen you literally celebrate your differences of opinion. It's true. Each one of you would add your own insight, and even if your view differed drastically from that of the rest of the class would be excitedly receptive to the new idea. Do you remember how many times you spontaneously applauded a classmate out of delight over an idea or composition he shared? I've truly enjoyed seeing you seek truth in this open manner. I enjoyed you also for all the crazy times you have made me laugh. And the fun you have with learning is amazing. You play with words and ideas like an otter plays with its environment, turning everything topsy-turvy and loving the result. I appreciate you for the anger that you can express when you get riled. I love you for the way you have learned to love yourselves. I'm proud of the way I can brag about so many of your individual accomplishments. I'm proud of you too, because you are a class that shows class. You've shown your dignity and creative ideas at our rallies and assemblies. You've made your mark on English 4 too, by decorating our room and initiating our exchange of Christmas gifts. I especially have admired you for the appreciation you show for others. You've written loving tributes, not only about your classmates, but also about your parents, brothers, and sisters. I hope you've shared those tributes with them, for your families need to know that you treasure them. Graduates, please look at your families right now. I know that you must be grateful for all the encouragement and support your parents have given to bring you along these 18 years to this most important part of your life. Perhaps there are grandparents, teachers, and other adults and friends out there without whose support you would never be here tonight. Well, listen to me. You may thank these special people in your life, but the truth is you will never, ever be able to repay them. The long hours they've worked to feed and clothe you, the hugs they've given you, the tears they've cried with you, the hours they've fretted, the anxiety they felt trying to choose the correct words to guide you on, the loving discipline they've doled out, their pride in your accomplishments, are all their gifts to you. We who have been involved in bestowing upon you this gift of love, your families, teachers, and friends, have found our happiness in giving to you. And this is the key to your own future happiness that I want to impress upon you tonight. We have given you a storehouse of love, not that we expect you can ever repay it, but that you will pass it on. Remember, despite what the media tells you, we are born for a nobler purpose than to acquire goods and material success. You have a purpose, a mission now, and that is to share with your world and your children someday the love and service which has given you strength. In my own life, my parents selflessly gave me a happy childhood, a healthy self-esteem, a set of strong moral values, a commitment to family, and a deep religious faith. Therefore, I now strive to give those same important gifts to my 3 children and to my students. And therein lies the key to my happiness and to yours. Helen Keller said, "The great enduring realities of life are love and service." Mohammed said, "A man's true wealth is the good he does in this world." And by his words and example, Jesus taught us that true happiness lies not in worldly treasures, but in the gifts of the Spirit which we share. Your mission now is to take this gift of love and service and prepare yourselves to pass that gift along. I close with advice which has always inspired me, a quote from William Saroyan's play, The Time of Your Life. "In the time of your life live, so that in that good time there shall be no ugliness or death for yourself or for any life your life touches. Seek goodness everywhere, and when it is found, bring it out of its hiding place. Despise evil and ungodliness, but not men of evil and ungodliness. These understand. Have no shame in being kindly and gentle. In the time of your life live, so that in that wondrous time you shall not add to the misery and sorrow of the world, but shall smile to the infinite delight and mystery of it." Class of 1986, in the time of our lives, your families and I have smiled to the infinite delight and mystery of you. Tonight, we let go. Journey with God now, and may He watch over you always.
Next speaker is Miss Pauley. Mary Lou forgot you.
Thank you, Mr. Traverso.
Well, you know, I'm shook up because we didn't have the dog at rehearsal today, and
That's true. I hope you have a diploma. Members of the school board, teachers, parents, and friends, graduates. The relationship between teachers and students is unique in all the world. The hours we spend together teaching and learning, discussing, arguing, and discovering create emotional ties that are very real and very deep. Yet every spring, we teachers watch the young people we've learned to love walk down that aisle and out of our lives. This is the 27th class I've seen take that walk. And every year of those 27, the class has included students who have found a place in my heart. Sometimes there are few, sometimes there are many, but every year there are some. In this class, there are many. And every year I shed a few tears. Sometimes less, sometimes more, but every year there are some, and this year there are more. But my tears are mixed with joy for the rightness of what's happening. It is wholly appropriate that you are ending this time of your lives and that you're starting on a new course. I know many of you well enough to know the emotions you must be experiencing. Elation at the successful completion of high school. For some of you, relief that school is behind you. You must be proud and happy about the awards and honors you've earned, and excited at the prospects of new jobs, new schools, new experiences. And along with the happiness and the excitement, there are feelings of sadness at leaving these friends of your childhood, and perhaps fear about the future. In watching the various ways you and your younger schoolmates have faced this week, I became aware that many people hadn't expected to have to face sad times. Somewhere along the way, many of us have gotten the idea that we should not have to experience pain or sorrow or disappointment. Maybe it's through the movies and television, where we pick up the notion that every problem can be solved in 2 hours, or in 60 minutes minus commercials. We all expect a happy ending. That's fine for television, but it simply is not the way real life works. Just as over the course of the year there are nearly equal hours of darkness and light, so in the lives of most people there are nearly equal amounts of delight and pain. Most of us will shed as many tears of joy as we do tears of sorrow. We'll know pride and humility in equal measure. The good and the bad will balance one another in our lives, and the rest of life is just getting from day to day the best way we can. It's ordinary, it's humdrum, it's routine, it's wonderful. Because you see, it is just this daily round of ordinary, quiet, useful living that allows us to endure the bad and appreciate the good. And the test of our lives is the way we live the ordinary days. The good days, the bad days, and the ordinary days of life, they are all well worth living. Experience every moment of them. The joy, the sorrow, the pain, the delight. Enjoy the mundane and the silly and the trite and the grand. Live your life fully, all of it. That doesn't mean you can grab with both hands at every experience that comes along. It doesn't mean you should try it all, good or bad, wise or foolish. You have real responsibilities to this world and the people who live in it. And the greatest responsibility of all is to yourself. You live in a time that may see the end of aging as we know it. Nearly all of you can expect to live another 70 or 80 years. With the medical advances that are being made today, you could still be living a healthy, productive life when you are 118 years old. Can you imagine looking back on this night from the year 2086? Then choose your experiences so you can look back without regret. Make your decisions and choices. Make decisions and choices that will give you every opportunity to fulfill the promise that is in you tonight, and then live your allotted portion of this wonderful life to its fullest. Bring yourself, the best that is in you, to everything you do, to your family, your friends, your job. Too many people spend frustrated lives caught in a job they hate. What a waste, to dislike your life for 8 hours of every day. Learn to enjoy those 8 hours, to experience them fully, to exact real satisfaction from them. Stretch yourself to enjoy every moment of that job, no matter what it is. Many people who don't like their work wouldn't like any job. The problem is not the work. It's that they don't know how to experience life as a daily joy. It doesn't just happen. It takes an attitude, It takes an attitude that brings the best you are to that job every day. Choose to be so good at it, so creative, so inventive, that every day is an exciting experience. Don't just work for money. Work for the joy of what you do. Do $1.25 worth of work for every dollar that you earn. You'll know you're the best. You'll know you're worth more than you earn. You'll know you're worth more than money can buy. Whether you make rockets or pizza, write traffic tickets or symphonies, drive a race car at Indy or drive the kids to soccer practice, you be the best. Make the best pizza. Design the fastest rocket. If you dig ditches, dig the straightest and the cleanest. If you write music, write from the best that's in you. Raise the most loved, best cared for kids on the block. Turn that sink full of dirty dishes into a cupboard full of shining crystalline glass. And sing while you're doing it. Or whistle, or recite poetry. But be there, really there, in mind as well as body. Be real and alive and let yourself care. And be straight. If you're bored, be glad you're straight enough to know you're bored. Experience what's happening, even the boredom and the frustrations and the disappointment. Live your life, don't just get through it. Don't waste yourself by living it pickled in alcohol or stoned on pills or pot. That's not living, that's walking around dead. And you've got a life to live, a wonderful life. And when you all get together in the year 2086 for your 100th class reunion, what wonderful memories you'll have to share. And that's my wish for you, 100 years of memories for the class of 1986. God bless you. Our counselor, Mr. Sandberg.
Good evening. I have a number of presentations and announcements tonight. First, I'd like to begin with the California grants. This year we have 4 students who are receiving California grants, 2 of which already have received an amount. They are, I believe both are going to Santa Clara University. One of them has an amount of $4,320, and if Miss Melanie Sleddy would stand, please. And the other young lady is Miss Amy Eskimo, and hers is over $2,000. The exact amount hasn't been, at least as of today, determined. Amy? We have 2 other students who are planning to attend a junior college first, and so money has been set aside for them. The amount will depend upon what 4-year college they attend. The 2 winners of those are Casey Freeland. Casey, would you stand? And Miss Kimberly Lane. A second scholarship is put out forth by the Italian Catholic Federation. The amount of $300 has been awarded to Miss Melanie Saletti. Melanie? A third grant is to Loyola Marymount University, and it's a rather large one. It's for $3,800, and it's been awarded to Miss Sandy Best. Sandy, would you stand? We have another one also. The University of Pacific, UOP is better known. This one here is a 4-year scholarship, so it will be over $50,000. And would Karen Martin please stand? The University of Santa Clara Alumni Association has granted a $1,500 scholarship to an outstanding freshman entering, and it happens to be Miss Amy Eskimo. The Seymour Memorial California Scholarship Federation, better known as CSF, has a scholarship that's based on academic achievement, school involvement, and service to community. Each year in the entire state, there are only 10 awards. The state is divided up into 5 regions. I believe this is the first time at Burney, or basically in this area, that we've ever been able to get a scholarship of this sort. And this year, $850 has been awarded to Miss Amy Oskimo. And finally, I have one more, and this is McCall's Dairy Scholarship. It's good at Shasta College. It's based on 3 criteria, and the criteria are basically scholastic ability, leadership qualities, and financial need. And the only stipulation is the scholarship must be used at Shasta College. And the winner of that this year, and I do have somebody to present, is Miss Kimberly Lane. No. You want to do this? Next, I would like to present Mrs. Mary Lou Schmidt, who will give CSF Golden Cord, anyway, CSF Awards, Life Membership.
It is my pleasure to call these 5 students down to receive their CSF Life Membership. Amy Oskimo, Nancy Visser, Melanie Sleddy, Sandy Best, and Matt Wilson. In addition, we have awarded 4 of our members the 100% life membership to CSF for 6 consecutive semesters membership in this honor society. We're very proud of these 5 for achieving this goal. Wear your gold honor cords with pride. I next like to introduce Sylva Seahorn from the American Legion.
Let me add just a moment. It's American Legion Sylva Seahorn. It's Mrs. Dorothy Scholl.
Good evening. All I can say is he who makes no mistakes does nothing. It's all right. Tonight we have a Sylvia Seahorn Scholarship, and this was a lady, you might say, a diamond in the rough. But she wanted to obtain the highest position in the American Legion in the state of California. So at the age of about 45 or 50, she went back to finishing school to acquire the poise and the dignity that this office required, that she thought. So being a diamond in the rough, when she finished, she was a total diamond in every aspect of the word. And I'm sure the young lady that's going to receive the scholarship, from what I've heard tonight, will be the same. Miss Amy Oskimo.
Yes, slight problems there. Next, Jeannie Pisani will present the Beta Sigma Phi Award.
Each year, the Xi Pi Iota chapter of Beta Sigma Phi presents a check and a plaque to a graduating senior who has displayed outstanding talent in the field of art, music, or drama. We ask Mr. Morris and Miss Pauley each year to present resumes of any students that they feel deserving without including the name or the GPA of said students, because this award does not need to go toward college education. We then vote by number for the senior that the sorority feels most deserving. The money can be used by the senior in any way they see fit. We had a particularly difficult time this year because two of the names of the seniors who were nominated showed talent in all three areas of art, drama, and music. And it was a very hard decision to make, but a choice has been made, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to present a check for $200 and a plaque to this year's recipient, Mr. Matt Wilson. And now I would like to introduce Mrs. Marie Conley.
Good evening. I would like to present the Burney Boosters Club Scholarship, and it's my pleasure tonight to present it to Daryl Hovis. To have a $200 scholarship. I would like to now present Connie Kleckler, who is going to present the Burney Lionesses Scholarship.
Good evening. I'd like to say a word or two first. I know we're limited to 3 minutes. I'd like to say something about some of the local organizations that raise money for this particular evening towards the scholarships. We sell raffle tickets that you people buy, and we'd like to thank you for giving us the money so that we can award them to the students. Give yourselves a hand for that. Thank you. It's my privilege to present tonight a scholarship from the Burney Lions Auxiliary to Melanie Saletti. I'd like to introduce Mr. Robert Osborne.
It's my pleasure this evening to be able to award scholarships from two different organizations. First of all, from the Fall River Education Association, a $300 scholarship to help someone along the road to possibly go into the field of education or other service work. Miss Melanie Saletti. And on behalf of the Burney Lions Club, we have two scholarships this evening. The first for $250 to Sandy Best. And finally, a $500 scholarship from the Burney Lions Club to Amy Oskimo. And now I would like to introduce Mr. Richard Taylor for the Pete Lakey Scholarship.
The Pete Lakey Memorial Fund was created 16 years ago after the death of Pete Lakey by his parents, and it has provided thousands of dollars to the 4-H and FFA members of the community, Fall River, Big Valley, and Burney. And that has only been possible through your generous support of our fund, and we thank you greatly for that. It's my pleasure tonight to present a $200 scholarship to Daryl Hovis. And I'll present Dennis Gomez from Sierra Pacific.
Sierra Pacific Industries is a family-owned company. The Red Emerson family that owns Sierra Pacific has expressed itself in its commitment to individual effort and individual responsibility through the Sierra Pacific Foundation. The foundation gives money for worthy projects, to projects of community interest, and also to a scholarship program. The Sierra Pacific Foundation gives renewable scholarships to children of employees, and this year the foundation is honored to give $2,000 for this year to Melanie Saletti, who is an embodiment of the spirit of contribution to others through individual effort and individual responsibility. Melanie? And now I'd like to introduce Lola Harris from the Burney Seroptimists.
I have the pleasure of giving 2 scholarships tonight, the Seroptimist Scholarship and Tri-County Bank Scholarship. Every year, the Seroptimist Club of Burney Fall River gives a $200 scholarship, one in Fall River and one in Burney. We also earn the money by different fundraising things we have during the year, and we also want to thank the community for this opportunity to present money to the young graduates. The Seroptimist Scholarship is a leadership award, and this year it goes to Amy Oskimo. Tri-County Bank gives a scholarship in Big Valley, Fall River, and Burney of $200 every year to a student who is planning to continue in the field of business. This year's winner of the Tri-County Bank's award is Marcia Lynn Carpenter.
We've had a slight variance here. I'd like to introduce the next presenter for Burney Rotary, Mr. Tim McCammon.
That wasn't bad for a first introduction. The Burney Rotary Club, or Rotary International, thinks of scholarships as being opportunities for students or for whoever receives them. So tonight, and opportunities of course come in many forms. Tonight we'll be distributing 2 monetary opportunities and then 1 additional one, so there'll be 3 people I'll be calling up. The 2 recipients start with are Miss Melanie Scoletti, and Miss Amy Oskimo. In addition, I'd like Miss Nancy Visser to come up, please. It's kind of difficult to talk from up there, so I'll address them from here. Miss Melanie Soletti and Miss Amy Oskimo will be receiving scholarships for $250 apiece. And the 3rd recipient up here, Miss Visser, is being sponsored by the Burney Rotary for a 1-year experience in the small town of Adeline, Australia, which she'll be going to next year, where the local Rotary Club there will be her host. And it's an honor for our club to be able to send someone out. Not every club can. And I wanted to introduce her tonight and let everyone in Burney know that she will be representing not only the Rotary Club of Burney, but the town of Burney in Australia next year. Yes. The order did get a little confused here. I'd next like to introduce Mr. Dean Donnett. I'll let Dean introduce himself.
I'll excuse Tim since that was my penmanship that caused that. Dr. George Grodefin was the son of Shasta County pioneers. Many of you have heard about him before, but upon his death, he left the greater part of his rather large estate in a perpetual trust to provide scholarships for students of all of Shasta County. This year, the Scholarship Board has awarded approximately $80,000 in scholarships to graduates of Shasta County high schools. The scholarships are not limited to the first year of attendance only, but upon separate application may be renewed year after year for any year of undergraduate or graduate work. Any of you adults out there who attended all 4 years in a Shasta high school, Shasta County high school, would also be eligible for a George Grodefin scholarship if you applied and decided to go back to school. It is our pleasure to award 6 and perhaps 7 awards to graduates of Burney High School this year. I'd like to award $300 to attend Oregon State to Sandra Best. $100 to attend Shasta College to Marcia Carpenter. $350 to attend the University of California at Davis to Casey Freeland. $350 to attend California State University, Santa Clara to Amy Oskimo. $250 to attend DeVry Institute to Brian Reed. $300 to attend California State University, Fresno, to Matthew Wilson. At the time the Grotefan Board met to present awards, Nancy Visser was awarded a $350 scholarship to attend California State University, Santa Clara. Since she is not going there next year, I will have to wait and meet with the board to determine whether or not we will give her the $350 to go to Australia. But remember, Nancy, whether you get the award to go to Australia or not, when you come back and decide to go to college, apply for a Grotefan scholarship. So you may, you'll hear from me later. Congratulations to you graduates. I'd now like to introduce Adele Boster, Burney High School, to present the Hart Federal Award.
It's pretty bad when it takes someone getting sick to get me up here, but I'm sort of glad that poor Ellen Songer is at home with the flu. Don't tell her I said that, because now all of the preaching that I've done to a few of you people, if you apply, you get it, I think has paid off. On behalf of Hart Federal Savings and Loan Association, it's my privilege to present this award that they have set up for their Outstanding Student Award. It's based on scholastic achievement, civic responsibility, and school leadership. A check for $200 plus a lovely medallion to Miss Melanie Soletti. And now, Miss Liz Pauley presenting the Melvin Pauley Memorial Award.
When my father died last fall, my mother established a scholarship in his name, and he would be very pleased about it. He did not finish high school. He was not able to, but he had a great respect for education. I was very pleased when I learned that the scholarship committee had chosen Darrell Hovis.
I believe the final presentation tonight on the awards will be Mrs. Rebecca Erickson from Musical Sounds.
This evening, I would like to award a scholarship to a senior who has shown outstanding musical achievement. This award is sponsored by Musical Sounds Incorporated, the Intermountain Concert Program. It consists of a $50 check, gift certificates from Caldwell's Corner and Music North of Reading, and a 1986-87 concert season pass for the student's family. I'm proud to present the Outstanding Musical Achievement Award to Amy Oskimo.
Okay, that's the conclusion of the awards. If for those of you who couldn't keep track, that amounts to over $100,000 approximately.
Okay. It's a good place to be. Everybody's in a good mood. We've tried out the platform. We know how it works. The idea was to get the graduates and the people receiving awards out front, facing the audience, so that you could get your pictures. Sandy caught on real well. There's only one change from rehearsal that is going to affect you at this point, and that is you're going to walk down that side for those of you in the back, because we had enough room for you to use those as steps. You're still going to come out in front. Board member is going to meet you, present you with your diploma. Remember, you're going to be facing the audience because they want to see you, and it's going to be a little bit awkward because I've told them to face that way, so they have to reach across their bodies and leave the things that you have received so far tonight, including your flowers, ladies, on your chairs, or you won't have a hand to receive your diploma, and I think that's what you want. And presenting the first group of diplomas will be the board president, Mr. Stan Spencer, and assisting Mr. Spencer will be class advisor Mrs. Osborne, and assisting the graduates on the platform from the other side will be another class advisor, Mrs. Phillips. Now, what do I do with the diplomas? Oh, boy. Here we go. Joyce Diane Murphy. Philip Raymond Harrell. Karen Lynn Martin. Jeffrey James Weiss. Melanie Charlotte Saletti. Michael Sean Spainhour. Katrina Marie Wright. Samuel Dean Tucker. Brian Allen Reed. Julie Ann Cameron. Richard Wayne Ross. Kelly Denise Stock. Bob Delp. Miss Shannon Ian Hetzel. Sherry Ann Fitzhugh. Kurt David Ronquist. Diane Marie Smith. Daniel Jerome McQuaid. Now presenting diplomas, board member Markham, Debbie Markham. Oh. Heidi Clare. Dan Miller. Marcia Lynn Carpenter. Paul Carl Laufer. Ken O. Plummer. Kurt L. Huntrods. Teresa Jean Tompkins. Douglas Jeffrey Moffett. Carrie Lee McCulley. Now presenting diplomas, Board Member Jan Bassett. Darrell Wayne Hovis. Wrong way, Hovis. It's all right, you're there. Stacy Lynn Grover. Deanna Lynn Johnson. Randy Lee Kopanger. Amy Suzanne Oskimo. Thomas Clapper. Diora Beth Rahetsky. Casey Gerald Freeland. Kathy Eileen Bateson. And presenting the final group of diplomas this evening, Superintendent Dr. Cooper. I almost forgot that name too. Daniel Scott Manful. Dylan Robert Wright. Nanette Ray Brown. Brian James Deerham. See, he said I got it right, Wilson. He's happy. Nancy Jean Visser. Mark Glenn Hurst. Sandra Irene Best. Matthew Lewis Wilson. Kimberly Lane.
You may be seated. There's one member of our class who's not with us tonight that I'd like to introduce to you all. Mike Peel.
I lost my place. Okay, I was supposed to say you may be seated, and you're seated. So next we'll have the benediction, Reverend Margaret E. Cross.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace, both now and forevermore. Amen.
There's a couple of young men here this evening who are taping this, and I see a lot of parents who are taping it. If you want a copy of the tape, this isn't a commercial, watch Channel 6. They'll put on there the time that they're going to broadcast it, and if you have a VCR, you could record it off of the air and have your own copy of the tape. If you don't have a VCR, maybe you could call a friend. Well, I was waiting to get a sign from the custodians that should we need the lights, they would be around someplace to turn them on. I didn't get that sign, so I think we better wrap it up. What do you say, class? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the BHS class of 1986. You may stand. Move your tassels.